Also, hi guys, and welcome back to our channel for the second episode. And thank you very much for those that have subscribed, those that viewed our last episode, and those that liked it,
Yeah.
commented. We love you a lot for the support, and
Yeah.
thank you very much.
And we are
Thank you
so
very much.
grateful.
Yeah, so we are. This is our second episode or
Mhm.
second video
Mhm.
we should be recording.
This time we are recording from our room, and lest we forget, Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. We hope you enjoyed your holidays, or if you're in Russia, we hope you are still enjoying your holidays and are preparing towards your exams for those who are in Russia. And yeah, today we are coming to you right from our hostel room. We are going to be talking about the experience, how we journeyed to get to Russia, the process, all of that. So Blessing will focus on Nigeria, her experience, how the processes she went through to get here. And I would also give you my experience from the Ghanaian aspect. So yeah, take notes, guys.
Okay, so yeah, when like I was trying to further my studies after my secondary education. So I wanted to school in Europe, and
Mm-hmm.
then I sent my second senior certificate examination results, which is WAEC
Mm-hmm.
for those that are in Nigeria.
In Ghana, we call it WASI results. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the like West African
Yeah.
examination? So yeah, so I sent it to like European universities, but then I go back, like I got feedback from Russia
Okay.
first. So then yeah, Russia exists. So, yeah, and before that I had no idea like what to do,
Mm-hmm.
like that Russia doesn't speak English, because in my mindset I
Mm-hmm.
felt
Every
like every
country,
country speaks
exactly.
English,
At
right?
least, even if you have your like national
National
language, there
languages,
should be English.
English. Yeah. So I thought Russian speaks. So language wise, I was ignorant because I knew nothing about that. But then, yeah. So the very first step, I got my international passport.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. Got my international passport. So because you have to send like your data page
Mm-hmm.
to the university so they can send you your invitation.
Invitation. Yeah.
Yeah. So once I got my invitation, I went to the Ministry of Foreign
Foreign
Affairs,
affairs, same as Ghana.
yeah, in Abuja. So I went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs so they can legalize your documents,
Mm-hmm.
put your WIREC results, your I think yeah, your documents.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it legalized. Yeah, and the reason I have no idea about this is because
You had an
I had
agent.
agents
Yeah.
helping me, and they were so good
Mm-hmm.
because I had no issues. Even when I got to the visa office at Abuja, like the Russian embassy,
Mm-hmm.
I had no issues because my agent has prepared all my documents.
Mm.
So I just got there, I submitted it, and because yeah, I had a sponsor, which is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He has to come with me.
Oh, in Ghana, it
Yeah.
wasn't like that. You
No,
just
I
go.
think another reason was because I got admission to study my PADFAC
Oh,
at Crimea,
oh,
and
okay.
because of the war, yeah,
The
because of the
situation
war,
in
and
Crimea.
Crimea is like the center, so they wanted my dad to
Okay.
come,
And then
yeah,
confirm.
that he has an idea I'm
Oh,
going to
okay.
Crimea and
Oh, okay.
also yeah, so my dad had to be
Interesting.
present, yeah. So they interviewed him, they interviewed me.
What were the questions? What did you say?
So yeah,
Did they
I
speak
think
English or they spoke Russian?
they spoke English.
Oh, okay.
So I because yeah, yeah. So because I think the questions like were centered around: are you sure your daughter is going to Crimea? Do you know? Like, do you have any idea of what is going on around there?
Mm-hmm,
Did you give your consent?
mm-hmm,
And then yeah, they asked me, which they are like I think that's like one of the very important questions that we ask you at the embassy.
mm-hmm.
Do you know anybody in Russia? Do you have people coming
Mm,
to pick you at the airport?
mm-hmm.
Is your parents going to like be responsible for,
For your education and
yeah,
your stay
yeah,
there,
so will
yeah,
they be
the same
paying?
questions.
Maybe I don't know if they will ask the questions if you're going on scholarship though,
Uh-huh,
but because my parents will be like covering my tuition fee and
uh-huh,
all, so they asked like, are you sure that you won't like stop paying their tuition fee like halfway? You
uh-huh,
understand those
uh-huh.
questions like that? And then I had like this organization, it's like an association, like Eastern European University Associations. So they help students gain admission to Russia, to
Ukraine
Ukraine,
to
and to
Belarus
Belarus. So yeah, they were the one that also like they work hand in hand with
with
my
your agent.
agent in Nigeria. So they picked me up when I got to Moscow. So they picked me up at the airport, and then I stayed at an hostel,
Yeah, a
rather
hostel.
hostel
Yeah.
at Moscow. And then I think I spent a day
Mm-hmm.
there, just to view like like famous Moscow. Yeah, so I visited everywhere before
I
I
say famous
yeah.
Moscow.
So they booked a train ticket
Mm-hmm.
so
From
that
Moscow to Crimea.
to Crimea.
Mm.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting because I was the only black on the train. And
Oh, that feeling is just
everybody,
so
yeah,
weird.
so everybody is like, Kadila.
And you don't
I
understand
don't
anything.
understand.
You
I
don't
don't
understand
understand.
anything.
Yeah, very important. If you're coming to Russia, make sure you like
You know,
learn basic
yeah, basic Russian. Yeah,
conversations.
it's
Like
very, very important.
Izvinit, like Yadiga
Paruski,
Paruski. I don't
Izviniti,
speak Russian.
Privyet,
So yeah,
Здравствуйте, these things, you need to know
simple
them.
things like that.
Yeah.
You have to understand them before you come to Russia,
Mhm.
or maybe any country that they don't speak English, like they don't have English as their
Their
official
first
language.
language. Yeah.
So you have to like know basic conversations, just like, excuse me,
Mhm.
I don't speak this language,
Mhm.
but I need to get a taxi. You
Mhm.
understand?
Mhm.
Even
Yeah.
if it's broken, they
Yeah.
will understand.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah, I get a taxi,
Mhm.
kind of things like that.
These things, even
Yeah,
if it's
so
bad
so
Russian.
I was terrible, and I don't understand what they were saying. And they were like, "Kagdila, Atkudati." I was like, I just scratched your face.
And the funny thing is, the more you speak English, the more they speak
You're
Russian.
Russian to you,
Like,
like
so
I
strange.
was so confused, and so because of that, I just had to bury my head in my phone so that nobody should ask conversation, like nobody should ask me questions,
Speak to you.
and it
Like,
was embarrassing,
yeah.
when everybody wants to converse with you. It was interesting, but then because you could not converse
Communicate.
back,
Yeah.
it was
It's a
somehow, it was
horrible
one kind of
feeling.
way.
Yeah.
I took a train, and then yeah, the representative from that same organization I talked about earlier came to the train station to pick me up. He took my luggage, and then she took me directly to the hostel,
Mhm.
like the student hostel for Crimea Federal University.
Mhm.
Careful. It was initially a medical university before it was converted, just like
Okay.
the way
Our
our current university
university.
was. It
Mhm.
was like an aviation
Bashkir State
university.
University and
Yeah,
then
so they
Ugatu.
merged
Yeah.
them to Ufimski University now, key
Key
technology.
technology.
So yeah, so yeah, it's something like that. Then I was taken to the student hostel. My documents were prepared for me to be legalized, and then I was like a legal, uh should I say immigrant?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like legally staying in Russia
Yeah,
at
because of
that
your visa
point.
and then
Yeah,
your
so
residence
yeah, it was
permit.
legalized, and all. So that's that. I
Mhm.
think that was like for my experience in
Mhm.
Crimea.
Mhm.
The university was nice, people were nice, and then yeah, another thing is like there is this stereotype about Russians that Russians are, you know, they are racist,
They are
they are
mean,
mean.
but they are so nice,
I
guys.
never
Like they
had
are
that
so nice.
experience.
Yeah, like as I say,
I
like
never
racism
had
is
that experience.
everywhere, but it's everywhere. Racism is everywhere, but it depends on how you.
And then I feel like it's ignorance, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's ignorance because you see people that are very different
friend
from
from you.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Me, if I see somebody different from me, I'd rather be curious because I'm like, how these people live, you know, be curious about that person. But then I feel like people find it very difficult to accept
Mm-hmm.
what they are not
Not
used to.
used to.
So I think that will come like as a form of racism.
Mm-hmm.
In which, yeah, I understand that feeling because you don't know this person. It's normal. If I meet somebody for the very first time, regardless of maybe the race, the color, and all, you'll be like, you want to stay away from the person.
Mm-hmm.
Talk more of if that person is like a different. So I understand
Mm-hmm.
if they have that kind of mindset.
Okay, so in my side, from my side, it's mainly so I also had an agent, so I didn't really go through so much trouble. I was just in my room one day when my agent called me that your invitation letter is ready and you have to go to the embassy to pick up your like to submit your documents and then get your visa. So I went there. I think the first time I went there on a Monday. and they were on holidays or they were off or something of that. So I was told to come back on, I think, Tuesday. Yeah. So I went back on Tuesday. I submitted my documents. I wasn't asked such questions like you were.
Yeah.
My mom wasn't needed there. It was
Yeah, because the other guy that was also coming to Russia, he wasn't asked. He went alone.
Mhm.
He got his. But then I think the reason they asked those questions from me is
from
because of
crime.
where I
Mhm.
was going to.
So I
Yeah.
just submitted my documents and I was told to come back for it in a week. So yeah, I submitted it then on the Tuesday. I think the Tuesday after, is it Friday? Exactly on Friday, I had my visa ready. That Tuesday that I submitted it, the Friday I had my visa ready, so I went to pick it up. And I'd already started making plans the instant I received my invitation. So yeah, I came by Egypt Air. So we had to transit so from Ghana to Egypt and then from Egypt to Russia. And from Ghana to Egypt, yes, there were a lot of blacks, So I was comfortable, I was confident,
Oh God.
only for me to enter the flight from Egypt to
To-
Moscow.
Oh,
And I am the
only
only black
black.
person in that.
It's so nerve wracking.
Yeah, I was so,
You'll be so self-conscious.
yeah, you don't want to, offend anyone, step on anybody's toe. You are
Like-
just so lost. That whole feeling, it was something. I was just not so comfortable. So then I got to Russia, and unfortunately for me, my agent had worked with one company like that. Sorry, I've forgotten their name. And so they had someone ready to pick me up at Moscow. But then one experience I had in Moscow that I will never forget was when I arrived at the airport, the Menodovo airport. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got there, I waited for I think 3 hours at immigration just before I could cross the gate. That experience, so strict. That
Very
experience was nerve wracking.
Any single mistake like this, you'll be sent
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to your country.
yeah. That experience
I
is
almost
really
cried.
It's
I saw right in front of me.
people were deported.
They were
Yes.
sending people
Yeah,
back.
people were deported right in my presence.
And they will
too.
take your passport. They will
Yeah.
walk by you. You
Like
will
you
see
don't
them
exist.
bringing passports like this.
You'd be like,
scared.
you'd be
Oh
like,
my
I
God,
hope
is this
mine
my
is
passport?
only for like
Hey, God,
that
it's
experience. That experience alone is really nerve wracking because you get to the airport, they tell you you go there to check in and then to be able to cross the gate, and then they ask for you to meet this officer. You meet the officer, they take your passport, and then you are told, and it's the way they separate us. So after they take your passport, there are some people sitting at this side, there are some people sitting at this side, and there are some people sitting at this side. So I get there and then I'm told to sit here. I sit and my whole body is shaking. And you know the most painful part? You don't have internet access to speak to anyone there because you don't have a Russian SIM card, so you can't connect to their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You can't communicate, like nothing. Everything is just so tense, and you are shaking. And yes, from that experience, what I can tell you is, if you get your visa, the instant you get your visa to leave your country to come to Russia, do that immediately. Like immediately.
Your visa has the validity of I think 90 days.
So
but then you have to
immediately.
be there like a month before your
Yes.
visa expires. Even if you're a day late, you will go back.
Yes.
You will go back.
Immediately. So that was why they deported some people, because one guy that was deported, it was because he had just 10 days left on his visa, so he had to be deported. And they are willing to pay for your flight tickets just to
Back
deport you.
to
Yes.
your country.
So please, immediately, the instant you get your visa,
Just like once you
Just
get
leave.
your invitation,
Yeah,
just
start
start
making
to prepare
preparations.
money for
Yeah.
your flight.
Yeah.
Like start to inquire.
Yeah.
Even if you eventually don't end up getting the visa,
Mhm.
the money is still at
Yeah.
hand.
And
And
the
if you don't get
airlines
it,
can refund your
yeah,
money to you. So
and you just message the school,
Mhm.
and then they will send you another invitation, so you can always apply again.
yeah, like
By
it's
then, just
very
make sure the
important.
money for your flight ticket
Yeah.
is ready,
Yeah.
so that once you get your visa,
You can
like
leave.
a week or two at most,
You've left.
just get your
Because
ticket.
if
and
you
then get
don't,
out.
and then you decide, okay, I'll wait for
Because-
like 2 months, because after all they gave me 3 months, so I'll wait for like
It's-
2 months.
yeah.
Next time you get to Moscow airport, you go back to wherever you came
Country.
from. You go back
Like
home.
they don't have like
They don't have that
mercy.
patience at all.
They don't
At
have
all.
like leniency.
Yeah.
That maybe okay, you're just a day late
Mhm,
anyway, so
mhm.
they don't. Even
Yeah.
if you are an hour late,
Mhm.
you're going back.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because they will ask like, what were you doing for the past 2 months? That
Yeah.
you didn't come.
Yeah, though. And please, as Blessing said earlier, try your best to know a bit of Russian, like
Yeah.
Привет, как дела, хорошо, я нормально. Like, these basics, just learn these basics.
Especially just if they keep talking to just emphasize Yani Gavari
По-русски, я не
I
понимаю. It's as
don't
simple as that.
understand. I
It's
don't
as
speak
simple as that.
Russian.
Just say these things
Yeah.
and then you'll be okay.
Like
Because
or you just ask like who speaks English?
Yeah.
Like talk Gavari Pangliski.
yeah.
Who speaks
Is
English?
it по-русски?
Yeah. Talk Gavari Pangliski.
Yeah, like these
Or
basics.
maybe French.
Mhm.
Francoski. Like just
the language
ask,
that you
yeah.
understand, like, and the languages that you should be able to easily communicate in apart from Russian here is French and English, because like most of the French speaking Africans here are also more, so you can easily communicate with someone. It's not everybody here who is a Russian. There are some people from different parts of the world who might be able to speak different languages like French, even Afrikaans, like different languages. So if you're not able to communicate in Russian and there is a language you can speak, you ask them, oh, can you please speak English? Can you speak this? Can you speak? But just make sure you say it in Russian, because if you don't say it in Russian and you stand there, who speaks English? They'll all be looking at you.
Nobody.
And one
It was like
interesting
a
thing,
shock
Yes.
to me when I got to the airport and I was trying to ask a lady a question and then she was looking at me. I was like, hey, God, I go. Hey.
And one interesting thing I learned is, some of them understand English. Some of them can speak English. So don't say that I'm in Russia and after all they speak Russian, so they don't understand English. Don't go and be gossiping about them. Don't go and be gossiping about them.
It's like the students in our department. They
I know,
only
right?
speak English.
But they pretend they can't
don't.
speak English or they don't understand. So you better watch what you say. Otherwise, you end up offending someone and you'll be in trouble. So yes, that was it about my experience at the airport. I waited for about 3 hours. Then when I was finally able to cross the gate, I met the lady who was to pick me up. So I stayed in Moscow for a while, like more than a week or two. I experienced the place, I think when I came, it was still winter, but then winter was ending, that time
it was raging. So I came in the middle of winter, so it was so cold.
So yeah, I had
the cold.
Yes. You better
people will tell you that Russia is cold, but I'm telling you, you are not prepared for the cold. When you're in Nigeria and you
even when it rains,
Harmattan, if you now magnify the Harmattan by like 100, that's what we are talking about here.
It's so cold. Like cold. It's cold. It's
like
very, very
people
cold.
lose their life because of the cold. Like they don't tell you how cold it is.
It's
like
very
just
cold.
like broaden your imagination. How cold can this be?
Yeah.
So what you are imagining now multiply by 100.
Yeah.
That's what we are talking about.
Like
here.
It's very cold because
like it is.
From my experience here, one thing I keep saying is I am grateful I'm not in Siberia. But even that, I am still
where
cold.
we are.
We are still
last
cold.
winter,
it was
like
crazy.
minus 30. It was
minus 30,
Jesus.
minus 32, minus 35.
It was cold.
Yeah, that area.
It was cold.
This winter is a bit warmer.
Or rather, it was because we really go out compared to like last winter, because our hostel was very far from the faculty, so we had to take a bus, wait at the bus stop. Like it's like every day we go out, we always come back in sick.
Yes,
it's cold. You're always
coughing, you're sneezing.
It was terrible.
It was like winter is just get ready for the season. If you are coming here,
like the cold will be seeping in through your boots, your feet will cold, your body, even with the thick jackets and all. It's like you're going outside naked. Like they don't prepare you for the cold.
Just get ready for the cold. If you know you want to come to Russia, you're coming to Russia, just prepare yourself to get cold.
Like the thickest jacket you can get in market. I think that doesn't work.
Even that doesn't work because I think I came with
the thickest jacket I could get
in Ghana, and it was.
I don't even wear those jackets.
The jacket that I got that I thought was the thickest in Ghana. When I got here, that jacket can only be worn during spring. Yeah, autumn, spring. Yeah, like can you imagine? So yeah, it's something you should really prepare for. So after staying in Moscow for a while, I eventually moved to my city where I gained admission, and that is Chechen State University, Grozny. I had done my research about the place. I got to know it was a Muslim city, whatnot, what ifs, but I wasn't expecting how strict it was. I learned a lot in Grozny, And after a while, I just realized I couldn't continue staying in Gurzni because my Russian is so bad. Though I'm better than Blessing, yes. My Russian is bad. So I just knew I wouldn't be able to study in Russian there. And hence the move to Ufa, Bashkortostan Republic. And yeah, that is how I met Blessing, and that is how
Yeah.
we've been together for some time now. So yeah, basically that is it. That is what you should expect as um an African or a Ghanaian or a Nigerian coming to
Yeah.
Russia. You know, these basic things, you should take them into consideration. Your invitation letter is important. The day they give you to come there to submit your documents for your visa, make sure you
You're
go there
there
that
on
day.
time.
The day they give you to come for your visa, make sure you go there that day. And as we said before, you are given 90 days. So the instant you get your visa, make sure you already have your flight tickets ready and you've already started making plans to leave. Because if you keep saying, "Oh, I don't have money now. I've not yet received my visa. I would wait to get my visa before
Get money.
I get my flight ticket." If you delay, those 90 days they gave you, if you delay, I think you can, the 90 days, I think you can only spend, is it 30 days out of it? So the rest,
Yeah, so
yeah,
yeah, 60 days. You have to be there
yeah.
before like
Is it
the
60 or
last
45
30
days?
days
Yes.
is up. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, for some cities,
Mm-hmm.
it's like 45 days. So
Mm-hmm.
you have like 45 days to get there. And then some, you have like 60 days grace.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
You just
30
need to be
days.
in Russia before that
Because
90
they
days
have
is
to
up.
extend your
Your visa.
visa.
Yeah, and one thing we forgot to tell you, when you get to the airport, before you cross the gate, you are given a small card, immigration card. Yeah, that kind of, don't ever lose that card.
Don't misplace it
Don't,
because
like,
it's very, very
very
important.
important. Keep it, like, very, very important, because it kind of gives you guarantee to move to here and
Everywhere.
there in the country, to show that, like, yeah, you're
You're
not here illegally.
yeah.
Yes, so keep those things in mind,
Yeah.
like, very important.
Like
The things
we
we've
as
mentioned too.
are in the
Yes,
university,
always
because the
use with our
university keeps
investing.
them
Yeah,
for us.
they keep it for
Because
us.
some people can be very careless
Yeah,
and they misplace things like that. So,
yeah.
so we give it to the university,
And then
and
they
then
keep it
if we
for us.
need to like
Move
make
to a different, yeah, or move
documentations
to a
or
different
travel,
city for
yeah,
something.
so we'll be
They'll hand
given,
it
or
over
they'll
to
give
you.
us like a copy.
But make sure if they hand it over to you,
Once you're back,
just
give it back to
them.
them.
So yeah,
It's
that
like it's very important.
yeah. So
Immigration
your
card.
immigration card, as we
Because
mentioned,
that's what you use to get your green card.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
the green card is with us.
Yeah,
Though.
the green card
Those
is
are
with
with
us.
us, but the immigration card is in the university.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So for today, that is all we have to tell you.
yeah,
Our very next episode, we might maybe tell you about our school. We don't know yet. We are still planning great things for you. But yes, as we said, these things are very important. As we stated earlier, your invitation letter, your visa, your immigration card, the experience of being nervous, you know,
it is.
like, it's so nerve-wracking when you're in the flight and you're the only black person. And yeah, when we got here, they'll be touching your braids. They'll be like, is this your real hair? They ask you these questions. Don't be offended. They are just curious. They want to know more
I think
about
many
it.
people take this. Me, I feel like the world is not that hard. Seriously, some people just take things like this too serious. So then it will become like it's like racism. It's not. They are just imagine if I see. I've always wanted to like touch like white people. Like how is it, like, is this soft, is this silky? I've never had that opportunity because so far I've not had like any Russian because yeah, our group we are all foreigners.
Students, yeah.
So once you're picking a course, you would, if you're not on scholarship, because I think they don't give.
Talking
If
about
you're
scholarships,
scholarship,
you hear about these scholarship things from us very
yeah, because
soon.
I think our university are posting like the list for the scholarship, like a link which you could click in for the scholarship. But then it has to be like engineering courses, aviation courses. So yeah, and once you get there, so you have to like make our university like the first choice.
Your first
So
option.
yeah, you pick our university as your first choice, so you get a scholarship.
And you would definitely
But
get
then
it.
you can't study in English if you're on scholarship, because I feel like all other Africans I've met so far
who are on scholarship,
they are not allowed
Russian
to study. You have a year to take your PADFAC, which is like preparatory course, and
the Russian language course. Yeah,
so once you learn the
That is what has made
languages.
us this way. That is how come we are able to say at least previous. We're able to say, it's Benita, Yani Panimayo, Yani Davari
That's like the
Panuski. You know,
limit
these
for
things,
me right
we know
now.
we can say
Because
those
I
things.
really interact with Russians.
But in my case, I do interact a bit more with Russians.
I don't.
So I did meet a couple of Russians. I've made a couple of Russian friends. So it's an experience.
Yeah, and as an African, if you're not in cities like Moscow, like St. Petersburg, it's very difficult for you to get like African products. Like very difficult for you
In
to
my
get African
city, in
products.
our city,
We don't. Unless you order from Moscow and then they send it to you. In Moscow, they are enjoying because they have African restaurants, they have African markets,
African
you
salons,
easily,
African
everything. You can get your hair done easily. You can get your nails done from an African. You can get African food. You can get African food products and all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. Like
Very
it's very
hard.
very hard. Like
Very
your hair, I think it's just one person that has like a salon that we go
to.
Other than that, so if you're coming to Russia, make sure
You have a
learn
lot of
all these
and you have a lot
skills.
of wigs. You know how to fix
You
the.
come with your own hair products because
Yeah.
you really get them here.
How to fix nails, how to
Just
braid
learn a
hair,
skill, especially
makeup.
And you're going to cities that are not Moscow, St. Petersburg.
You
My
will
girl,
make a
you will
lot.
make money.
You become the richest
Especially
African
you would
in
make
your
money
city.
because especially if you're coming to cities like ours, you will make a lot of money because it's like everybody braids their hair all the time.
Yeah.
So you just have to like make a post. I'm in Ufa or I'm in Shinabisk, I'm in Kazan. So if you want to make your hair, it's this amount. Don't make it too expensive.
If you do,
don't make it too pricey because people would rather braid their hair themselves.
Yeah. And
even if it's
this
rough,
was done by a friend of mine. Yeah. It was
even
done,
mine.
And girl, she's good. She doesn't have her own salon, but she's good. You soon see her.
Would invite her.
What is it that Mary cannot do? Mary is
she's
a chef.
cook.
She's a hairdresser. Mary is just
like 1,000. No, how is it 1,000? A million yard wife material. Like she cooks, she braids. She's good. Like she's like jack of all trades.
Yeah. So that has been it for today. Today we decided to tell you about our experience, and we hope you enjoyed today's video too. And see you next time. Once again, Happy New Year. And this has been Lena
and Blessed. So please subscribe, like, share with your
comment.
Friends. You can always comment what you want us to talk about. Maybe you have any questions you want us to cover, or you're curious of what it is like.
Just ask
being like an international student here in Russia.
Yeah.
You can always ask questions, and we are always ready or available to answer your questions.
Yes. So
free.
Yes. So as we said, stay curious.
Tuned.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Paka.
Paka.